Well, good morning, everybody. It's great to be back. Had a great weekend off. I needed it. It's fantastic, and I'm enjoying life these days. Want to get into all the updates. There's been massive activity. End of last week into, of course, this weekend. And I took a step back so that just kind of let things unfold. Want to give major updates where we're at with the work we're doing with the CCP, Canadian Constitutionalist Party. Also want to update on what's happening with Russia, China, major critical things going on all around the world that affects Canada, absolutely front and center for Canada. So for the first time ever, Vladimir Putin, the biggest news, Vladimir Putin reaches out to Mary Simon, sends her a letter of congratulations. None of that's released in the media, but I can promise you all that happened. It's published. I got that on great insider information. So I'm sure Mary Simon is shock-loaded right now, especially as the letter she received from me, I've heard nothing back. She's dead silent. But it doesn't change the fact her monumental powers fully disclosed. Alberta gave an update this weekend, major on independence from one professor out of Calgary. It's on my timeline. A declaration of independence, I can tell you all right now, you may have a professor there who wrote an incredible piece, a lot of historically accurate content, excellent, except for the entire title and narrative of the paper, Declaration of Independence for Alberta. One, Declaration of Independence, they've been illegal since 1945. Currently, there is only one country since 1945 that legally got away with that. And it's not even legal, but they got away with it. And why? Because of George H. Bush. We're talking George W.'s dad. 1993, he endorsed Ukraine's Declaration of Independence. Why? Because USSR had fallen in 89. That was it. They were in a transition period. Post George H. Bush, Putin was ascended, sponsored by none other than Bill Clinton. America was happy with that. A lot of the nations of the world were happy. They even granted that power of the P5 to Russia, no questions asked. Didn't take it away. Mind you, Russia has as much firepower as the United States. In fact, even more so with recent missile tests. They proved their hypersonic missiles nuclear capability is par and in some cases better range than the United States of America. You don't put them on the shelf, but regardless, a president, which was George H. Bush, ratified Ukraine's Declaration of Independence. What Albertans need to understand, regardless of this professor and his paper, again, it's a terrific paper, except for I can tell you right now, I have the smartest legal mind in Spain. Smartest legal mind, top 10 in the world. He's the smartest man, one of the smartest legal men in the world today. Top 10. Friend of mine, I've been through his courses. He's wrote many books on independence, all in Spanish. There's translations in English. He's a doctorate and a world-class legal mind. Catalan went for independence. Not only did they go for independence, they elected a party to go for independence. In their last election cycle, before the one we just had in February, going back 4 years, 2016, they went for independence on a Declaration of Independence, meaning they did not give the people a referendum. A party elected in a multi-party system, the problem is you don't have a clear majority. Just because a party's elected doesn't mean that is the majority of the population. This is the same for every country in the world. The United States of America broke fundamental laws George H. Bush broke fundamental laws when he granted Ukraine independence, when he sponsored it. He did that with absolutely no legal backing whatsoever, an executive order by a president. It was wrong. It's wrong because you make the world unstable, which is not, again I repeat, which is not world-binding law that the United States of America ratified for the entire world, along with 4 other nations. They agreed. Those actions led to Crimea and other actions all around the world and that are going on today. Those same actions, Turkey just took Cyprus. They took a city in Cyprus. Imagine for a moment you pick any city around Canada, and imagine for a moment any country in the world comes in, takes that city for themselves by military force, throws all the citizens out. UN steps in, they put a fence around it, UNSC, and say, nobody has it till you two work out an agreement. That's what happens when you do narratives that are against world-binding law. So you have USA breaking law. Vladimir Putin has a great case on Ukraine. It's not about what's right or wrong, it's about the fact that they did a declaration. Now, Putin went on to take Crimea. Declaration of rejoining Russia. No referendum. How can you say it's okay for Ukraine and not Crimea? This is the problem. Those territories, there's 5 more, need to go through the legal process. Catalan needed to go through the process. It was so bad. So everybody knows I have the leader of the Separatist Party, who also is a professor, who's also distinguished worldwide and a full-on separatist. This is for Albertans and other Canadians, Quebecois who seek independence. You must do a referendum by the people. I presented the only Canadian in history of Canada to build a party and release the legal path to independence. It's not only legal for Alberta region, it's legal in the entire world. Nobody will come forward to dismiss that should you follow that platform. There's no legal recourse for a country or any other country to step in and say no. There isn't. That's the legal path. And if you don't believe me, there are a lot of Canalese that'll tell you how prison felt or being thrown out of your country. They're not the only ones. There's massive countries like that. The last legal path to independence was 2005. And it was in Africa. They followed the legal path to independence. When professors make articles like that, or like this one did, releases a publication, a paper, and it's printed in the Law Society, but it's completely 100% illegal. The path they're going with is 100% illegal. Alberta will not get independence that way. There is revolutionary processes respected worldwide, but you're going to run into problems in our crown colonial system. There is no court that's going to assist you, not in the Supreme or the Superior. One phone call from the Prime Minister to a Governor General or to any Lieutenant Governor of any provinces, and you get usurped legally. That professor wrote an incredible article, an incredible piece. It's an excellent paper, except for the overriding theme of it is 100% illegal. Never going to happen, and will only destroy Alberta trying to get legal independence. I'll reach out to him, I'll talk to him, which brings me back into Russia and China. So Russia reached out to Mary Simon. That was 5 days ago. That was Vladimir Putin. Gave her a congratulatory, and I don't know the rest of the contents of the letter. They're reading everything and the work I've done. It's absolute. Never in Russia's history have they ever reached out to any ascended Governor General, but they know now. They know now. They've read lots of my work. They know exactly what this means for Mary Simon. They also know the Arctic Council because they're on it. They also know Inuit very, very well, as does the United States. That's Russia's narrative. Russia does not understand Treaty Indian. We're teaching them. I'm proud to say that's a big part of the work I'm doing, as I'm doing it for all 5 of the P5 as I go through with ICC. We have China, as I said, 60 days ago. You can go on my timeline, and I told you all that the UNSC P5 would be taking care of Myanmar. That regime is in a world of hurt. They're in a hurt locker. 60 days ago I told you this. I said it takes about 60 days. As of Friday, China announced they're moving in on Myanmar and the regime. Voted for all-inclusively United States, China, Russia, France, UK, and the rest. And the rest. They're all in it. UK, France, Russia, China, USA. They're all going forward with it. China's leading off. They have ports. Ports of Myanmar did a deal. They defaulted on the loans. China wants the supply and value chains. It's in the Asian world. They're going to go for it. There'll be a restructuring. That regime's going to get tossed. That's what's going to happen. And it's going to be done with military intervention, as are all those who breach those laws. We see this time and time again in the world. We have Turkey going after Cyprus, a town. That's going to be addressed in no less than 60 days. Not even 60 days anymore. Less than 50-some days now. I'd have to look, but I believe it's 55 days from now. You will see military intervention against Turkey, who's in NATO. How is that going to work out? It really just makes me just baffled how all these people claim to be so smart, professors, Canadian, these elite educated staff in Canada, yet they can't function with a grain of sand in any kind of international sense whatsoever. And it's pathetic. It's pathetic that these people are paid substantial salaries. They educate our future, our children, and they're without any kind of credibility whatsoever. Time and time again, Canada fails on all its narratives. Doesn't matter conservative, liberal, NDP, Green, it goes on and on and on. We have no concept of the international community. We don't function well on it at all. They brag about stability of autocracy, which goes into even more. So I had the plan, everybody, the plan, been in the works for 2 months, to go to Ottawa. Not only am I going next week to hand off a document for Mary Simon to make sure she actually got it. I believe she did. If she didn't, Russia will fill her in, because they got it too. But we were also to go see Oleg Stepanov. Now, Oleg is the Russia-Canada ambassador from Russia to Canada. Interesting enough, over this last week, all his office numbers in Canada, in Ottawa, are no longer in service. Is he one of the diplomats removed from Canada? Has Canada removed him? I don't know. There's nothing on the news. There's nothing. Zero. Just as what was a big fear, we all feared it, we all suspected it. It seems body searches for residential schools has dropped right off. Now all of a sudden the narrative is back to the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. They're just going to take the number at, well, 6,000. But the UNSC and the ICC don't work like that. They need to see bodies, like any criminal court, international criminal court. You need the evidence. It's criminal. Criminal case evidence requires a murder weapon and bodies. You have to have the bodies. So we need the count. Now all of a sudden it's dropped right off. Now all of a sudden we're back to the Canadian narrative. We're building a resolution that starts today. I was already waiting for all of this to mature. We have three narratives. One is the party, the most important narrative. Take the crown, destroy the crown. Do it in a legal political party federally. Show Canada and the world that we know what's up, what we can do for the people of Canada legally, and the world will endorse that. Second is absolutely the ICC in a real genocide, alive and well today. We're going to address that. No matter what Canada does, no matter who they pay off in their first class system, they're not going to get away. And even if they can silence that, we have the third path, which is the UNSCP 5, which is our UN resolution. I'm many steps ahead of the government and everything they were going to do. That's reality. Been at this for years, developing, planning, ready for every single narrative. I knew there was never going to be any parties, any political support whatsoever, because they're all entirely part of the problem. I couldn't rely on any legal practitioners here in Canada. You can't rely on a single one, because they all swear the same oath, and they will never, ever go against that. It's why our immigration system is based on all supporters of that crown autocracy. When you, the people, get wise, the government ramps up immigration from all those who will be loyal to the crown. Look at your immigrants. Look where they come from. Has nothing to do with race. Everybody gets it wrong. When you start analyzing, you realize they're all loyalists. They're all chosen to keep the crown strong. Everyone talking about an early election. Again, we're going to say this. MPs, the 338, only one voted against. That means 99.7% of your elected house, your democracy, the people's democracy, voted no early election over this pandemic that the government ruled. They've enforced, they keep enforcing, they keep adding to it. But here we are facing the fact that the crown power may call an early election on request of the autocratic prime minister. And they all want it. Where is the democracy? Well, there isn't any. Canadians, there is no democracy in Canada. If you think Russia's autocratic, think again. Even in our multi-party system, it does not matter. There is no real true democracy. It's the illusion of the worst kind. This has always been the problem with monarchies. It's why they've been eradicated so grandly throughout the world. They've never been as weak as they are today. But yet Canada still runs in that system. They still hide behind an illusion of it. We have to end it all. 3 narratives, tonight starting, UN resolution. Watch for China and Russia. They're very active. They're very well educated and on board. USA has its problems. But you know what? They'll come on board. They didn't say no. They stayed silent. As long as we don't get a veto and a no, it's as good as gold. And it's likely they're all going to do that. And who knows, if we build the right resolution, which starts tonight after work, we start on the path to the UN resolution. As I go through all aspects of it, what we're going to craft for the world, but absolutely addressing all of what's wrong with Canada. And should China take that, implement that, and use their delegation, it's all but over for Justin Trudeau, Jagmeet Singh, Aaron O'Toole, Maxime Bernier, and all the rest of the absolute autocrats. That's my video this morning. Lots of stuff here. Some things are kind of a downer and other things are very exciting. We're going to see where Mary Simon's at. Because I would love to read what that was all about from Vladimir Putin. First time ever. And we're going to find out by next weekend what's happened with Oleg. Has Trudeau expelled him? Is Trudeau scared? Am I not to talk to Oleg? Unbelievable. Genocidal maniacs, all of them. And we'll see. If I have to call the Kremlin, I'll call the Kremlin. You can't stop justice. Justin Trudeau, you're way out of your element. You don't have anybody around you with half a brain to even get you out of this. It's over for you. And you can keep trying to pay, and you can throw the third class under the bus. You can corrupt the chiefs. It's too late, Trudeau. I'm many years ahead of you. There's nothing the Conservatives can do. They're in the shit mess too, and so is NDP. It goes on and on and on. You can't escape this justice coming. You can't. There's no ability to pay it out. That's my video, everybody. Share, share, share. Have a great day. Bye now.